All right, guys. So we are recording officially, and today the topic of our call is we're going to be talking about recruiting up. Before I even get into it, guys, my name is Matthew Cruz, 25 years old. I'm out here in Seattle, Washington, visiting. I actually grew up here, but I live in Miami, Florida. I'm a Chairman 10, very close to Chairman 25, and yeah, guys, to go out there and build this entire business, the main skill that you need to really master to go out there and have a lot of success is going to be able to recruit up. Now, there's a difference between recruiting and there's a difference between recruiting up. When you're brand new getting involved in this business and you want to hit P150, P600, oftentimes you'll talk to anybody and everybody. But truth be told, if I was to start a traditional business, if I was to start a brick and mortar business, you wouldn't just, talk to anybody, right? You would be very specific on the individuals that you're getting started in your business. In that same way, you want to go out there and treat this business the exact same way, guys. And first of all, let's talk about just recruiting in general. So some people have a negative connotation to recruiting for whatever reason. But let me share something with you guys. First of all, the very first thing I want to tell you guys is that every organization out there is recruiting. Every organization out there is recruiting. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a great thing. Obviously, let me ask you guys a question. Drop a 777 in the chat if you're grateful to be involved in this company. If you were grateful to, if you've had massive increase in your life, a lot of value added to your life if being involved in this company. Every single person on this call. And the funny part is somebody recruited you to be here. You cannot get involved in the academy without someone referring you to the platform, right? So why is it that we're, shy when trying to share this opportunity with other people if it's impacted us in a positive way, right? Timidity is not a good strategy to go out there and build your guys' business. But every organization is recruiting, guys, whether it's the military or whether it's, colleges are recruiting, right? Or whether it's sports teams, whether it's the NBA, whether it's the NFL, right? If you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, guess what? You recruited that person or you got recruited, right? To be completely honest with you, everything is recruiting. And so, this is something that we have to master in order to go out there and build a massive organization. And so I want to share something with you, a success principle that changed my life. And this is straight from John C. Maxwell. If you know who John Maxwell is, drop a 1 in the chat. If you don't, drop a 2 in the chat real quick. Most people's familiar. All right, cool. So check this out. John Maxwell, I've been blessed to actually see him speak in person 3 different times. He's the #1 leadership speaker and author in the world. You can go to your local bookstore and you'll have the leadership section and the whole John Maxwell section. Like, it's crazy. But when it comes to leadership, he's the best of the best. And he talks about a success principle called the law of the revolving door. You want to write this thing down. And so this changed my entire business. So the law of the revolving door, I want you guys to picture like you go into a hotel and then you have a revolving door, right? You have people coming in and you have people leaving. Well, John Maxwell says that your business is the same way. When you're going out there and building this business, people are going to come and people are going to go. That's not the question. The question is, what is the quality of people that are joining your organization? That's going to determine the growth of the team. That's going to determine the speed in which your team is moving. That's going to determine the exponential growth that's taking place within your team, or the downward spiral that's taking place in your team. And so think of it like this. If you have low quality people joining the business and high quality people leaving your business, well, then guess what? Your business is in trouble. Your business is falling apart. Now, if you're building this business right now and there's quality people joining your business and there's lower quality people leaving your business, that's how you know that your business is growing. That's how you know that you're on the right track. If you're new to business and you have people leaving your team, you might be freaking out, right? I remember when, my first few people ended up, leaving my team, and I was freaking out about it. But guess what? That's completely normal. The question is not if people are leaving. The question is, what is the quality of people that are leaving your organization and joining your organization every single day, every single week, every single month, and every single year? If the quality of people is high quality, if you're recruiting up, that's what recruiting up means, recruiting high quality people, then your business will grow and you will have a lot of growth within your guys' team. So let's talk about recruiting up a little bit. Hold on. So here we go. All right, perfect. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a bozo, right? 1 being somebody who's not serious, 1 being somebody who no commitment, right? And let's say 10 is being a someone like, I don't know, let's use John Guaman as an example, somebody who's a 24-year-old multimillionaire, right? Somebody who, has an insane work ethic, somebody who is a servant leader, somebody who, is the best of the best in the industry, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, let's say that right now I'm a 5. Everybody gets started at different levels, right? You might be a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When it comes to, business, and that's okay, because everybody starts somewhere. It doesn't matter where you start. But what tends to happen is if I'm a 5, I'll typically start to go out there and try to recruit people who look up to me. 4s, 3s, 2s, 1s, right? People who have less credibility than me, people who have less contacts than me. And guess what? If I go out there and recruit a 4 and, those 4s are recruiting 3s and those 3s are recruiting 2s and so on and so forth, you're building your business on sand. It's like trying to build a skyscraper and the foundation of your skyscraper is sand. And so you're building these teams and they're falling apart, and you're building these teams and they're falling apart, and you're building these teams and they're falling apart. Why? It's because you're building your teams with low quality people. And when I say low quality people, I'm not talking about these human beings having less value than us. I'm talking about when it comes to business, having contacts, credibility, and coachability, that they're low quality business wise. So if I'm a 5, guess what? I want to start, recruiting 6s who can start recruiting some 7s, who could start recruiting some 8s, who could start recruiting some 9s, who could start recruiting some 10s, right? Because now I'm recruiting people that are better than me. Understand that some people literally self-sabotage their business. They don't want to recruit people that are better than them. I'm telling you guys on this call right now, you want to recruit people who are better than you business-wise. I'm trying to go out there and recruit people who are better than me. I understand that I could go out there and recruit 1 million people who are 1s and they'll all fall off. And I'll just waste my time, energy, and money. Or I could recruit 1 person who's a 9 or a 10 that's going to go chairman whether I like it or not. Example, when I got started in this industry, I went out there and hit a full-time income, and the person who got me started quit, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is that there are people who are going to go chairman in your organization, whether you like it or not, just because they are a high quality person. So recruiting up is something that's not talked about enough. We got to really do better when it comes to the people that we're bringing in, guys. And so let me show you guys the qualities of people that I'm looking for, guys, really quick. So here we go. Hold on. So when I'm building this business, guys, I'm looking for people with the 3 C's, right? I'm looking for people with contacts. How easily can they make a list of 50 to 100 names? Credibility. Do they have trust and influence with the people that they know? Coachability. Are they willing to listen? Give me somebody with contacts. They could easily make a list of 50 to 100 names. Somebody with credibility, they have trust and influence with the people that they know, and they're coachable. They actually listen. So when I tell them to run the play, they actually run the play. I will help this individual go hit the first few ranks within the first few weeks every single time. Platinum 1000 in the next 2 to 4 weeks, every single time. And so these are the people that you're looking for within the organization, guys. Now, if they don't have contacts, if they don't have credibility, when I got involved in the industry, I didn't have contacts. I had no credibility. I was a 19-year-old kid. I had no business being in business. I was coachable, but the one thing that I did have, guys, was a burning desire. I wasn't hungry. I'm telling you guys that I was starving for success. I had my back against the wall. I had no other choice. And so, guys, when you're going out there and building your teams, ideally you're looking for people with contacts, credibility, coachability, right? And if they don't have those things, at the very least, they have to have a white hot burning desire. Because if not, I am not working with these individuals. These are people that are going to just waste your time if they do not have these qualities. If this makes sense, drop a yes in the chat. All right, perfect. Now here's the key as well, guys. Now here's the key as well. Here's the key as well. Not only do you want to recruit up, guys, but you guys want to taproot up. You want to taproot up, right? So as you guys are enrolling people, you can't personally enroll your way to Chairman 10, right? It's not going to happen. So you got to help your team. You got to taproot up. So when I get Bob started in the business, I'm asking Bob, who do you know, Bob, that I should know? Who do you know that has contacts, bro? Who do you know that has a ton of credibility? Who has a ton of trust and influence with their group? Who do you know that is crazy coachable? Who do you know that was, captain of the football team? Who do you know that was, president of, some club, right? Who do you know that is a business owner already? Who do you know? These 3 words, who do you know, will help you build a massive organization. But you got to be specific, because what tends to happen, I'm telling you, you're going to get a new person started and they're going to try to find the lowest hanging fruit. The lowest hanging fruit means the people that look up to them, typically the easiest people to talk to, which is fine. But if you don't tell them to recruit up intentionally, then they're not going to typically do it. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to do it, right? So you have to be intentional. Success is intentional. So when I'm enrolling somebody, I'm asking you, who do you know that I should know? Who do you know with the 3 C's? Who do you know that has a burning desire for success? These are questions that I'm asking people when I'm helping them build their list, guys. So not only do you want to recruit up, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you're taprooting up as well. Now, I'm not going to go crazy into taprooting because that's not what this call is for. But let's talk about something else really quick. So hold on one second, Pam. Let me pin my video really quick. Hold on. Let me share my screen. All right, guys. So what you guys want to understand too, when it comes to recruiting up, is that the person who makes the most friends wins. So let me give you guys an example. How many people does your average person meet in their lifetime? I spelled that wrong, but that's okay. Guys, even the most, check this out, guys. Your average person meets 10,000 people in their lifetime. Your average person meets 10,000 people in their lifetime. I don't know if you knew that. Now, let's do this. How long does your average person live? 79 years for your average person. So check this out. 79 years times 365 days equals, that's 28. Your average person lives 28,000 days. divided by 10,000 people that you meet on average. Your average person meets 3 new people a day. So don't bullshit and say, oh, I ran out of people to talk to. Guys, for you to go out there and hit P150, P600, P1000, it might be from the people that you know. But if you want to build and you want to hit a 6 or 7 figure income, your long-term success is going to be a reflection of the people that you met after you got involved. After you got involved. I take a look at all the Platinum 1000s and above that are in my organization, P1000s, P2000s, P5000s. And the craziest part is I think that out of the dozens and dozens of them, only one of them, I think, that I knew before I got started. The rest of them I either met through personally recruiting up or tap rooting up. So what you guys want to do is you guys want to be very intentional. The person who makes the most friends wins. You want to add people to your list every single day. There's an amateur. An amateur has no list or a mental list. A professional has a list of people that they're trying to talk to, and they're adding 2 to 3 people to that list every single day. Every single day, no matter what. It could be online, it could be social media, it could be Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. I'm on there every single day, following new people, building new connections, building new relationships, right? Robert Kiyosaki said this. He said that wealthy people build networks while everybody else looks for work. Even if you weren't in this business, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So you should be networking with people every day anyways, guys. So, you know, on top of that, it could be online, right? On social media, or you could be networking and recruiting in person. Obviously, it's a little bit different with what's been going on lately with the pandemic, but guys, let me tell you something crazy. Let me tell you something crazy. There are, me personally, before I got involved in this business, I was involved in a different company, and my mentors were extremely old school. Like, they didn't use social media to build their business at all. And honestly, that is silly because it's such an amazing tool. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is that my mentors were all belly to belly, right? All building in person, all building connections in person. And I actually hit a full-time income in this industry without using social media basically at all. And so, you know, I think it's silly to not use both. I think it's silly to not use online and to not use offline. We should be using both. Why not use both the tools, right? And so here's what my mentors taught me back in the day. They said, yo, Cruiser, you know, you don't have to necessarily go out to network, but you need to network when you're out. This is what my mentor said. My mentor said, Cruiser, what you got to do is you got to do whatever it is that you already love to do so you can naturally go out there and make new friends. You need to put yourself in a position to meet new people, because guess what? If you're on the couch, you can't meet new people on the couch in person, obviously, right? You got to put yourself in a position to meet new people. So I asked myself, okay, what is it that I already love doing that I can go out there, put myself in a new position to meet new people? And for me, I played soccer my entire life. That's all I did growing up, right? And so when my mentor told me this, naturally, I'm not exaggerating. I joined like 6 or 7 different soccer teams. This is no exaggeration. And I joined 6 or 7 different soccer teams, and I was just doing what I already loved to do naturally. And just from doing that, I recruited dozens and dozens and dozens of new people. Why? Because I just made a bunch of new friends, right? And so what you guys got to do is get yourself outside of your comfort zone, put yourself in a position to meet new people offline, be adding new people every single day, you know, online. And that's how you're going to go out there and have so many new people to talk to that it's not even funny. I know that there are some people on this call that are struggling with recruiting, and that's something that that was one of my biggest struggles. But I'm telling you guys right now, if you're taking the advice that I give you, you guys are going to have so many leads that you won't even have enough time to get back to your leads. You're going to have so many people that are interested in joining the business that you're not going to even have enough time to sign them all up. How's that for a good problem to have? And so Let me ask you guys a question. How many personal recruits, personal enrollments, do you think that your average chairman has? How many personal recruits, how many personal enrollments do you think your average chairman has? Drop it in the chat. 10, 100, 50, 20 plus, hundreds, 40, 100. This is a great, we got some very different answers here. We are not on the same page. 30, 100. None? Who said none? Depends. Yeah, that's true. It does depend. 30, 10. All right, cool. Before I even go into that, I'm going to give you guys the answer here in a second, but let me go back to my previous point. I'm sorry I'm bouncing all over the place, but I'm going to tell you guys this. I want to tell you guys this. Our parents and our grandparents built different, companies in this industry to the billions and billions and billions of dollars of sales, went out there and made 6 and 7 figures, and they didn't even have social media at all. And they did it all online. So what is our excuse, being the most socially connected generation that this world has ever seen, to not be able to network with other people? It just does not make sense, guys. That's something that I really wanted to share with you guys, that I wanted to say. But yeah, back to the question. Average chairman. When I saw Kiani hit chairman 10, and when I saw, you guys see Kiani, who's a chairman 10, and he's like this close away to chairman 25. Y'all see John Gualman as a chairman 100, almost a chairman 250. I met Kiani when he was a P600, I think. I met John when he was a platinum 5,000. So I saw both of them hit chairman. I've seen dozens and dozens and dozens of people hit chairman before they hit chairman. And I'm going to tell you guys this. I saw myself hit chairman, and I know how many personals that I had. Believe it or not, guys, your average chairman has about 200 personal recruits. 200. And that might sound like a lot. You guys might be like, oh shit, that sounds like a lot. But let me break it down. And let me actually make it sound like very easy, because it's actually easy. But what's easy to do is a lot easier to not do, right? So let me give you an example. Obviously, that's 200 over the course of their lifetime of being involved, right? It's not like 200 in a month, right? It's over the, however they've been involved in the business, but it's 200. So let's do some math here, guys. Check this out. So, and that's not 200 active personal customers. That's just like 200 enrolled, period, in the lifetime. So when people ask me, hey, Cruiser, what do I need to be doing like to build the business? I say the most important thing that you got to do, bro, is you got to do 1 to 3 income producing activities a day. 1 to 3 income producing activities a day. So here, let me share my screen. One sec. One to 3 income producing activities every single day, right? And so what's an IPA? That could be getting somebody on a 3-way call. That could be inviting somebody to an event, inviting somebody to one of our opportunity calls that we have every single day. That could be inviting somebody to a recording. We have video recordings. Doesn't matter how they see a presentation, as long as they see a presentation. But an income producing activity is an activity that produces an income, right? Making lists is great. Hopping on trainings like this is great, but those aren't going to produce you an actual income. An income producing activity is showing the plan. And so if you're part-time, I understand that everybody here is working 9 to 5, typically, probably 99% of people on this call. But the question is not, what are you doing from 9 to 5? The question is, what are you doing from 5 to 9? What are you doing with the few hours that you have after work? If I invite somebody to an opportunity call or an event or a recording or get somebody on a 3-way call, if I invite Bob to an opportunity call and he jumps on the call, that took, and let's say I get him on a 3-way call after he sees the presentation, it took me 30 seconds to invite him to the opportunity call. And the three-way call typically takes 15 minutes. So it took me about 15 to 20 minutes to do one income producing activity. This is part-time. Honestly, that's a joke. That's not even part-time. That's spare time, right? So 1 to 3 income producing activities a day if you are part-time. Why is that? Here's why. Let's take the average. Let's say 2. If you're doing 2 income producing activities daily times 365 days in a year equals 730. That means you did 730 income producing activities that year just by doing 2 income producing activities. We just talked about how they take on average 15 to 20 minutes. So that's about 30 minutes every single day of work. 30 minutes a day of work, actual work, not bullshit work like picking up the phone and like actually working, times 365 days equals 730 IPAs. If you're closing 3 out of 10, somebody do the math for me. What's 730 times 0.3? Someone pull up a calculator really quick. 730 times 0.3. Drop it in the chat, please. 219. If law of the averages, if 3 out of 10 join, then you personally enrolled 219 people. And guess what? Your average chairman has 200 personal recruits, and that took you 30 minutes a day. It's not, business is not magic. You don't get to, chairman magically. Business is mathematics. It's numbers. It's a numbers game. If you talk to no people, you're going to make no money. If you talk to a lot of people, you're going to make a lot of money. It's not rocket science. Now let's talk about this too. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the fact that I say this, there are 4 aces in every deck. In every deck of cards. As you guys are building this business, right? Let's say you personally enroll, 200 to 220 people divided by, and there's 4 aces in every deck of cards, and there's 52 cards in a deck. So you'll have anywhere from 12 to 16 aces out of the 200 people that you personally enroll. You have 12 to 16 potential platinum 1000s if you launch them right. And that's why I always say, if you guys have ever heard me do a training, if you help about a dozen people go platinum 1000, then boom, you're a chairman 10, and the math starts to line up. Now the problem is most people aren't going through the deck. The problem is you'll get a handful of people started, and and they don't do anything because they're not aces, right? They're either they're either 2s or 3s, or some of them are jokers, right? And then after you put in a little bit of effort, you don't see those instant results. You don't see that instant gratification because we have this microwave mentality in this generation. And then you just end up giving up. Oh man, that was too hard. No, you got to just go through the deck of cards to find those aces, right? You got to go through the deck of cards. You got to go through the numbers. You got to, go out there and personally recruit enough people in order for you to find those platinum 1000s within the deck of cards. Because like I said, you help about a dozen people go platinum 1000, and boom, you're a chairman 10. Platinum 1000 is really the foundation rank, one of the foundation ranks for you hitting chairman 10. And so guys, the last thing that we're going to talk about is personally recruiting versus taprooting. Personally recruiting versus taprooting. Personally recruiting, you going out there and bringing new people on board yourself, and taprooting, meeting people through people, using other people's contacts, credibility, influence to recruit, faster, easier, and quality contacts. That's what taprooting is. It's meeting people through people. If you might be, the goal is to create momentum. And momentum is when you have a lot of new and excited people joining your business, following the system, and getting results every single day. That's the goal. And you might have massive momentum in one leg and zero momentum in another leg, right? So I'm going to show you guys how much time you should be spending person recruiting versus taprooting in each of your businesses, right? So check this out. If you have no momentum in your business or in a certain structure within one of your 3 legs, because we build 3 teams, right? You should be spending 100% of your time personally recruiting. What blows my mind is people who are trying to build the business and they have no momentum within their team and they're not personally recruiting at all. If I was trying to create momentum and there was zero momentum, I would be spending 100% of my time bringing new people on board, 3-way calls, one-on-ones, Zoom calls, inviting people to events, focusing 100% of my time on personally recruiting, looking for the next leader. Now, let's say that you have some momentum going on. If you have some momentum, if you have some people coming and some people joining and there's like a little bit of stagnancy, but it's growing a little bit, I would be spending 50% of my time personally recruiting and half of my time helping my team, half of my time launching my team, half of my time, you know, really going out there and meeting people through people, taprooting. Now, a lot of our businesses right now are in massive momentum. A lot of our businesses right now are in massive momentum. And if you have massive momentum right now, you want to spend 20% of your time personally recruiting and 20% of your time, 80% of your time taprooting. Because the 6 and 7 figures is in taprooting, but you can't taproot somebody who is not there, right? And a lot of people are trying to, right? That's why it's important if there's no momentum that you should be spending 100% of your time in person recruiting, because taprooting is where the big money is made in the industry. Because if I know 100 people who each know 100 people, that means I have access to 10,000 contacts. So meeting people through people is where it's at, but you can't taproot somebody who's not there. So if there's no momentum, then you need to spend 100% of your time personally recruiting. I wouldn't be doing anything else other than that if you're trying to build the team. If you have some momentum, 50% of your time personally recruiting, 50% of your time taprooting. If you have massive momentum right now, guys, within our organization, we have so many new and excited people joining the business, following the system and getting results that we don't even have time to barely launch all the newest, most excited people. So at that point in time, you should be spending 20% of your time personally recruiting and 80% of your time taprooting. And I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking like, wait, why wouldn't you be spending 100% of your time taprooting if you have that many new people on your team? Answer is because people don't do what you say. People do what you do. So you always need to be leading by example. I spend 2 hours a day personally recruiting. I'll spend an hour a day in the morning following up with people that were already on my list, because I understand that the fortune is in the follow-up and 80% of people aren't going to get started on the spot. I spend another hour later on in the day reaching out to new people on social media, building new connections. And on top of that, throughout the day, as I'm living my life, I'm making friends. And that is how you do it. If you have a little bit more clarity on how you should be spending your time with person recruiting versus taprooting, drop a 777 in the chat. With that being said, family, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you all learned something new. And yeah, guys, what we can do now is I'm going to spend 5 minutes with you guys answering any questions, guys. What questions do you guys have? Whether it's person recruiting, whether it's, you know, let's try to keep it on the topic of recruiting up. What questions do you have, if any at all? Drop it in the chat box real quick. Drop it in the chat box. What questions do you guys have, if any at all? If not, we could just end the call. I'll give you guys a couple minutes. Okay, we got a couple questions. Perfect. Let's talk about it real quick. So, let me share my screen. Okay, so Cedric said, yo, how do you gain momentum? the equation for momentum is P equals M times V. P, momentum, equals mass, right, times velocity. Momentum in your business, momentum, P equals M times V, right? So momentum equals mass, the amount of people that you show the plan to, times velocity, the speed in which you do it. The way to create momentum is you show a lot of people the information in a short period of time. Okay, when you're taprooting, is it reaching out to your team's network and giving them no, taprooting is like I sign up Bob and I launch Bob, right? So example, taprooting is let's say I sign up Bob, right? I have Bob make a list of 20, 50, 100 people. We'll just say 30. Use that as an example. And I help Bob invite his top 30 list. And as Bob is recruiting people, that's what taprooting is. Helping your team recruit is basically what taprooting is. If that makes sense. How is a taprooting? How do you get people to join even if they aren't mentally ready? Why are they not mentally ready? It kind of depends. I mean, maybe they shouldn't join if they're not mentally ready. If you could be a little bit more specific, Chris, let me know. How does a taprooting conversation go? Like I said, I'm linking up with Bob and I'm like, hey, listen, Bob, who do you know that has contacts, credibility, coachability, right? How to qualify people to join your business, as in when you make Instagram polls and low quality people respond. If somebody doesn't have contacts, credibility, coachability, but they're like super hungry, like I'll still get them started, right? Because, I wasn't necessarily the highest quality of person, but when you're intentionally going out there and reaching out to people, if it takes the same amount of time to reach out to somebody who's a high quality person versus a low quality person, why would you not spend all of your time trying to recruit higher quality people, right? So, if someone's coming to you, that's a little bit different, but I'm more so talking about when you're going out there and reaching out to people. What do you say when you follow up with people, and if they don't respond, would you just follow up with them again? Yeah, I would definitely follow up with them again. Some people just forget to respond. A good rule of thumb is to double it. So when you're following up with people, let's say that example would be, I show Bob the plan, Bob doesn't get started right away. Maybe I'll follow up with him in a couple of days. And then after that, I'll follow up with him in about a week. Then I'll follow up with him, in a couple of weeks, then maybe a month, then a couple months. So every single time you're following up with somebody, you just want to double it, like give it like double the amount of time between when you followed up with them the last time. That's a good rule of thumb. What presentation videos can we use? My favorite one that I've been using that's been converting a lot of people is Matt Thayer has a video on YouTube. It's called, let me see if I can find it. So I can send you guys the opportunity call that I typically use. I'll send it to you. I use this video almost like every other day. Oh no, I'm sorry guys, that was the wrong one. Ignore that. Ignore that first link. Sorry, one second. It's not working, but it's called, you guys can, it's 14 minutes. It's 14 minutes on YouTube, and it's called Full Overview on I Am Mastery Academy and Live Sessions. It has 92,000 views. 14 minutes long on YouTube, full overview on I Am Mastery Academy and Live Sessions. Okay, let's see, where else are we? Someone wants to start, but their mindset is holding them back. Past failures and fears, basically. If someone has a lot of like past failures and fears, then I try to show them people that have gone through the same things as them or have been in a worse place than them that are having a lot of success, and use those success stories to show them what's possible for them. That's what I would do. What does it mean when a person hits me up saying that they are interested, but when you are trying to get in tune with them, they slack? Actions speak louder than words. A lot of people are going to say, yeah, I'm in, I'm all in, bro. And when it comes time, they're ghosts. They're nowhere to be found. So do not trust people's words, right? I don't necessarily pay attention so much to how people are talking. I'm paying attention to how they're walking. I'm paying attention to how they're moving. So like a lot of people are going to tell you shit, and it's not, you got to have that awareness that it's not necessarily true all the time. What that really means is that they probably want to get started and they're just scared, or they probably want to get started, but maybe they don't necessarily believe it's possible, right? So when it comes down to you hitting them up and they're not ready, that's probably why they have some type of like something holding them back. I would try to, again, maybe get them to an event, drag them to an event so they could see, other people's success stories, and that could be enough to inspire them to help them actually get started. Taproting someone who has a negative mindset on building but has a good following. How do you make sure the new sign up doesn't feed off their negative energy? So people are not going to necessarily do something unless they know why they're doing it. So if someone's a little bit negative on the business side of things, I do my best to break down why building the business makes sense, because people are never going to do something unless they know why they're doing it, or people are going to be negative towards something because of the lack of information and lack of education. So like if I have someone who has a big following, but they're negative on the building side of things, I do my best to educate them on why this is a good thing. And if you're having a tough time with that, you could introduce them to one of your mentors who could help them do that, help you do that. How do you make sure the new sign up doesn't feed off their negative energy? I mean, some people are just connectors. So if you're getting people started through somebody that has a big following and they still are like super negative about it for whatever reason, then I would just start to work hands-on. I would just say that person that has a big following is just a connector, and they're going to connect you to a lot of leads and to a lot of people, and you can just taproot through that, right? And just work with the people that they get started yourself. That's what I would do. How can you ride the momentum and help new members hit the ranks within the month, even though they're new? If someone's new and doesn't understand the business fully, but you still want to help them out, number one is keep it super simple. That's my answer. You want to keep it extremely simple. When I'm going over a game plan to help somebody hit P150, I'm like, hey, listen, if I could tell they're like kind of scared and they're a little bit overwhelmed, you want to make it sound dummy simple, right? I might not tell them, hey, make a list of 100 people, like right here, right? I might say, hey, listen, who are your closest 5, 10 family members, or not family members, friends, family members, people that you're close with, people that you talk to? Who are the last 10 people you texted? Who are the last 10 people that you called? Those people, the people that you're talking to, that when you go out there and have massive success, when you're, making a full-time income, a 6-figure income, that you don't want to be left behind. That would be mad if you got rich without them. Who are those top 10? All right, let's make a list of those top 10. All right, awesome. If you invite these 10 people, we're going to do the presentation for you. We're going to answer their questions for you. All you have to simply do is invite them, let them know, hey, we're working on something really big and I want to get your opinion on it. All you got to do is that. We're going to do the presentation for you. We're going to answer their questions for you. And if you sign up 3 out of 10, boom, you hit P150. These are the conversations that I'm having with a new person that's like overwhelmed. When talking to someone new, how quick do you bring up the opportunity and how much relationship building before bringing it up? So it depends. If you're naturally having a new conversation with somebody and it comes up naturally and it's something that they're seemingly interested in, or they're like an entrepreneurial type person, then you can bring it up right away. If they're coming to you wanting to learn more, then you can bring it up right away. If it's like, straight cold market, then, typically it might take, a day, few days, no longer than a week. A week is the longest that I'll be like, kind of like connecting with somebody before I like bring up the opportunity. What if someone says they would rather learn on their own and they don't want to pay the monthly fee, and also they don't want to build, but you see value in the person? If someone wants to just, I tell people good luck. You know, someone's like, yo, I'm going to learn off YouTube. I've never met someone who's been massively successful off of YouTube. So good luck. I tell people, I don't think you want to not pay the monthly subscription. I think that you want to just save time and save money. Is that true? Yes. Okay, cool. Well, I'm telling you guys, right? I'm telling you right now that this is the shortcut. You can't shortcut the shortcut. This is the shortcut to your success. This is the fastest way that you're going to create a full-time income online if you take it serious. And if they still don't want to do it, then it don't matter how much value you see in the person if they don't see value in the opportunity. And I would run away from those people. I just got started. How do I get people on when I don't know much information? Again, you don't have to know anything in order to hit the first few ranks in the company. When I was brand new, obviously, don't get me wrong, you want to learn as much as you possibly can in a short period of time, obviously. But what I'm trying to explain to you guys is that if I'm brand new and I have a list of 10 people, like I just said, and I reach out to those 10 and I say, hey, bro, I'm working on something really big and I want to get your opinion on it. And I invite them to an event or a call and 3 out of 10 join, boom, I just hit P150. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be an expert to hit the first few ranks in the company. How do you develop people to P1K? Well, not everybody is developable. So you got to find someone who's serious. I don't even know if developable is a word, but you know, you got to find someone who's serious. Number one. Number two, you give them the blueprint, right? There's a blueprint to Platinum 1000. So you kind of just begin with the end in mind. Okay, Platinum 1000 is 30 people. And then you kind of break down how many people that they would need to personally enroll and how many people that they would need to help hit P150. But that's another call for another time. All right, family. I answered way many questions than I thought I was going to, but that's all right. I appreciate y'all who hung out the entire time. Have an amazing rest of your guys' day. If you guys need me, my Instagram is @Cruz the Creator. Hit me up. I'm here to help. You know, we're all one team, one dream, all one big family. Have a great rest of your guys' day. I will talk to y'all soon.